Yo, welcome back. My name is Patrick, whatever you want to call me. This is part 2 to the series Letting Go. The first part was about the standards that we set for ourselves, and then the frustration and shame that follow those standards when you don't reach them. And it's not about never setting goals. It's not about being okay with where you're at and never wanting to move forward. It's about not letting yourself get frustrated when you don't get to your standards and recognizing that's where you are. If you fall short of your standards, that's where you are right now. And then that's where we can start moving forward instead of beating ourselves up. This part 2, how I can look at letting go in my life and be okay with it. Because it feels weird. It feels really weird, and it's hard to explain to people. This is one of the best ways that I've heard it explained, and this is why I'm okay with it. This is what's helped me truly abandon myself to the experience around me, to the reality that is a part of my life and where I'm at. So I'm going to get some water. Before I get to the visual, I cannot emphasize enough, I am no expert at this. I still just fall. And again, like I can pick in the last couple days, I can pick in the last week to month, how many times I've just given up hope, how many times I just really try to grab onto everything and never let go to anything. So I'm no expert at this, but I think that through my experience, I have something to say. So what I want you to picture is if you may have a kid, if you have or if you have nephews and nieces like I do. I have a ton of nephews and nieces, and I'm watching my brothers and sisters teach these kids, and they're all like younger than 4, and I'm watching them, especially their mother. So I want you to picture a child and his mother. There's times when I'm just hanging out with them, and my little nephew is just everything's going fine, and then one little thing messes up. One little thing doesn't go his way, and he thinks the world is crashing down on him. He starts freaking out, and he's just yelling, and the mother, my sister-in-law, is like, hey, it's okay, it's right here, like, let me help you. And so she's like she is helping him, but he can't see it. So he's trying to do his own thing, trying to wail himself out of the situation that he's in, and she clearly has a bigger perspective of the whole situation and understands more than he does, and she knows that it's going to be okay, and she knows how to get him out of that situation. She knows how to make it better, but there's no way in hell that he is going to allow her to make it better, because he thinks everything's going to crap and there's just no fixing it. So probably as I explain it, maybe you related that to yourself, to your own life. What I want you to think about is maybe, just maybe, there is something higher than us. There is something more knowing than us. And I think you can look back, if you're being realistic with yourself, you can look back in your life and be like, wow, I did not think that was going to work out. How did I land that job? How did this become okay? So I think, and I'm not saying you should believe this. I think if we're looking back at our lives and our experiences, we can see that there is something that is guiding us through this life. I truly don't believe that I have made everything happen in my life. I think I would be it just wouldn't be right if I'm like, yeah, I'm the reason I grew up in Wichita, Kansas with when I was younger, a loving family with a great parents, and I have a lot of things I didn't do, okay? So I think that we can look at in our past, there's a lot of things in my life that I didn't do, that maybe there was something else that's guiding me. And I think I said the quote in the first one, just maybe these battles that we're losing right now are okay to lose because they're going to help us in the bigger game, in the longer run. What I try to picture is I'm this child and I have tunnel vision, and I'm just looking at this one thing, this one big problem in my life, and I'm like, how the heck do I get around it? How do I keep falling short? How do I just and I get so frustrated, and I get literally, again, tunnel vision of, no, I need to do this. Okay, I need to get this way around it. I need to get this way. And maybe it comes down to letting go. Maybe when my nephew is just screaming and yelling and fussing and like flipping around, maybe if he just let go, let his mom pick him up and hold him, he would realize, oh, the world isn't falling apart. I'm not dying in this moment. Everything is okay. Even if there was a little bit of suffering in that moment, it led to something good. With this idea, I want you and myself to take a look at the situation that we're in right now. Take a step back. Maybe it is okay, going back to that first one. Maybe it is okay that I keep falling short. Maybe I need to look at that and realize, yeah, I need to still work. I need to do my work, but I need to accept where I'm at. I need to let go of this pride, and I need to accept. I need to receive this experience, this reality. This part is more if you're spiritual, if you're into that kind of stuff. I have two things that I'm sorry. I feel like I keep hitting the mic. I have two things to point out. One is a book. Another is a novena. So this book, it's probably not going to zoom in. It is Abandonment to Divine Providence. Just for humor reasons, I'm going to try to pronounce the author of this. Jean-Pierre de Caussade. So this book was written more than 250 years ago, and it is about abandonment. So again, abandonment, letting go. I read this book over the summer, a year ago. I probably picked it up about exactly a year ago in my life. And this has changed my entire life, my entire spirituality. And what he talks about in this book is, if you believe in Christianity, you believe in this God that's created everything around you, because it exists, God has had a hand in it. And therefore, nothing is secular. Nothing at all is secular. And so, therefore, maybe these battles, maybe these struggles that we go through, even these sins, yes, he doesn't want us to commit them. He would rather us not, but he would probably have rather not sent his son on this earth to be crucified, but he saw it fitting for the salvation of our souls. So maybe, just maybe, I'm again, emphasis, I didn't even go to college, but just maybe that he sees a sin that I commit as a chance, that he sees a chance for me to sanctify my soul even more so. If my life was easy, if I never sinned, if I never went through this suffering, this grinding, what would I be then? I always envision my soul. I always envision like the human person as like a bonfire. And so you're not going to get fire without friction. And this friction is your suffering in life. This friction is the things you struggle with. This friction is saying no to these certain things. If everything was so easy, there's no friction to start that fire. And there's no hard work. And if there's no hard work to collecting the wood, starting the fire, then it's not going to be a fire that other people can see. It's not even going to be a fire at all. So that is the reason I'm okay with letting go. I'm okay with taking a step back from this situation, from my sins, from everything around me, this reality, taking a step back, looking at it and saying, take this. You are smarter than me. You know everything. I give this up to you. I don't want to hold on to this. I want to let go. I want to read from a chapter of this book. And this chapter name, I literally freaked out when I first heard it or read it. The name of this chapter is Sanctity Made Easy. How easy sanctity becomes when this doctrine is properly understood. When this doctrine, as in total abandonment. I'm going to read a part and kind of break it down hopefully a little bit so you can kind of get an understanding of what this book looks like. And Matthew Kelly just printed a ton of these books, and that's how I actually got it. Was I picked it up for free in the back of a church a year ago. So I imagine that they're floating around everywhere, so you can probably find one if you're in the Wichita area. But of course you can probably order it too. Oh my God, how much I long to be a missionary of your holy will, and to teach all men that there is nothing more easy, more attainable, more within reach, and in the power of everyone than sanctity. How I wish that I could make them understand that just as the good and the bad thief had the same things to do and the same things to suffer, the good and bad thief, the two on the right and left of Jesus when he was dying, so also two persons, one of whom is worldly and the other leading an interior spiritual life, have neither of them anything different to do or to suffer. But that one is sanctified and attains eternal happiness by submission to your holy will, in those very things by which the other is damned because he does them to please himself, or he endures them with reluctance and rebellion. Okay, so I'm going to read on, but I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper to that. We still have the same things to do. We still go to work. We still come home. We still try to feed our families, ourselves. We still do these things, but it's within the acceptance of the good and the bad. When you don't have an interior life, and when I'm not in tune with what reality is, where God is in my suffering, I just get pissed off and I just sit down and I get frustrated with everything. But if I accept, okay, this is what's happening in my life, I'm grateful to be alive. I give this up to you. I give this up to this higher power, because I know that I do not see everything, and I know that there's no way I know what good can come from this, or see that any good can come from it. But I believe that you see greater than I. So I allow myself to accept this, to accept where I am on this. If we're in this bar again, you have your standards. I accept that I'm right here. Please help me be better. I don't want to stay here, but I'll accept it and I won't get frustrated with myself. This proves that only the heart is different. Oh, all you that read this, it will cost you no more than to do what you are doing, to suffer what you are suffering. Only act and suffer in a holy manner. It is the heart that must be changed. And when I say heart, I mean will. Sanctity then consists in willing all that God wills for us. Why I love this book, why I love that part, why I just read that, why we spent 5 minutes on that, is because that's it. That is it. That is this letting go. That is this acceptance. This letting go of what I think will get me to heaven, and accepting that maybe these day-to-day actions, maybe these things that come into my life that I experience, maybe all it takes is me to accept it, to let it go, to try my hardest to see where God is in it, and just believe that maybe there's something higher. Maybe He knows better than I, so I have to accept what He wills, and therefore let go and let Him. Part 3, I will start off with the novena. I'm not going to say the novena, but I have this novena here. I'm already way over time. I'll let go. I'll show the novena next part 3. Peace out.